When you buy a brand new car from a major manufacturer, you assume the engineering is sound. You trust that thousands of hours of testing guarantee safety for your family. But some of the most sought-after vehicles in automotive history carried lethal engineering flaws beneath their polished exteriors. These machines were functioning exactly as they were engineered. The danger was woven into the original blueprints. The designers behind these models made specific choices. They prioritized low production costs, uncompromising off-road utility, or extreme visual styling over human survival. These failures highlight the narrow margin of safety in automotive development. When a specific design goal is pursued without restraint, the car itself becomes a liability for everyone on the road. In the 1970s, Ford needed a cheap, compact vehicle to compete with imports. They rushed the Pinto into production to capture that budget-conscious market. This diagram shows the critical error. Engineers placed the Pinto steel tank behind the rear axle, inches from the differential bolts. During a rear collision, the impact shoves the tank forward. The metal punctures, spraying gasoline and turning a minor accident into a fiery explosion. Internal documents later suggested the company had analyzed the math. They weighed the cost of a fleet-wide redesign against the estimated payouts they would owe to victims of these crashes. Ford eventually recalled over 1.5 million vehicles, but the damage was done. The Pinto remains a case study in what happens when human lives are reduced to a line item in a corporate cost-benefit analysis. Beyond the city streets, vehicles like the Suzuki Samurai and the classic Jeep CJ were built for utility. They were engineered to navigate dirt trails and steep inclines. This frontal diagram compares a tall, narrow SUV to a standard passenger car. Engineers gave these off-roaders a short wheelbase and high center of gravity. On paved roads, a quick steering maneuver generates enough lateral force to tip the vehicle over. The Chevy Corvair faced a similar struggle. Its rear suspension handled corners uniquely, but if tire pressures weren't maintained exactly to factory recommendations, the car could experience sudden oversteer and roll. Consumer advocate Ralph Nader targeted the Corvair in his 1965 book, starting a national debate over who was actually responsible for highway safety. This public backlash shifted the burden of accountability. Manufacturers could no longer sell unforgiving, specialized designs to the general public, and then blame the driver when the physics proved fatal. Occasionally, pure visual beauty created an invisible trap. When Audi launched the first-generation TT in 1998, buyers were captivated by its stunning, unbroken curves. This airflow diagram of the TT shows a hidden aerodynamic flaw. At highway speeds, the smooth rear curves acted like an airplane wing, generating a strong upward lift over the rear axle. This lift reduced tire traction, leading to unpredictable crashes across Europe. Audi eventually had to modify the car's silhouette by adding a rear spoiler to keep the tires planted on the road. Extreme styling defined the Lamborghini Countach as well. It became a supercar icon thanks to its sharp wedge shape and signature upward swinging scissor doors. However, those doors were a structural trap. If the car rolled onto its roof in a crash, the doors were physically blocked by the ground, making it impossible for occupants to escape a wreck without outside help. The Audi's instability and the Lamborghini's door trap prove the limits of styling. Aesthetic ambition eventually collides with the physical requirements of survival. The global automotive industry evolved its safety baseline because these specific, fatal designs gave it no other choice. The fallout from the Pinto led to the development of protected fuel cells and initiated the strict crash testing standards we use today. The rollover controversies of the Samurai on the Corvair pushed engineers to design wider wheelbases and helped lead to the mandatory electronic stability systems that keep modern cars on the road. Today, dangerous cars like the Countach and the early Audi TT are coveted by collectors and worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. We admire these legendary vehicles in museums, but their reputation is built on a history of engineering mistakes and lost lives. Every structural safety feature in the car you drive today was effectively paid for by the deadly compromises of the past.